Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on YouTube.com. With me, Stuttering Craig. You got a goal? Go get it. Adam Krigler.
Hey, buddy.
Blab.
Hi, chat. I love you. Mwah.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv. What is going on, everybody? Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1 video game and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's Side Scrollers. And man, oh man, listen, I'll tell you what. We're going to fight today. We're going to fight. We're going to get messy. Tell you the pre-show, before we should have been live. We're going live. It's going to be messy today. I love it. I can't wait. Let's go. Joining us, the most passive person I know. The lover, not a fighter. The one, the only Travis Keys.
I was going to say, who's fighting? I'm not fighting today.
you ain't fighting. You ain't fighting. I'll tell you who is fighting. The Guamanian light heavyweight queen, Blabs.
Hi, listen, I'm not fighting. I'm fucking pumped today. You know why? I have a 3-day weekend for the first time since like December.
Let's go.
And it's my birthday on Sunday, so 3-day weekend plus birthday. Happy child I am.
Equals extreme testosterone flowing through your brain.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right. Thrown to just straight up through your body to your brain, making you want to fight. You got those animal instincts, which was great.
Testosterone, okay.
Women have testosterone.
I know,
right?
but okay, go on. Anyway, introduce Adam. It's fine.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, speaking of testosterone and estrogen, it's Adam Krigler.
Why'd you have to throw that in there?
Estrogen.
Yeah, what? Blabs just got full testosterone, and then you brought me on, and you're like, and estrogen.
Adam with estrogen. I'm here
Well,
for
no, men have estrogen.
it. This is biology 101, everybody.
Right. So what we're saying,
you're talking from experience.
big time.
Big time.
Craig is full of
Big
estrogen,
time.
everybody.
What's going on, everyone? It's Friday. I'm excited. We got a new dungeon that is, it's coming in like an hour, I believe, over on Destiny 2. Finally, some good content. Hopefully, it's good because, man, does it need all the help it can get. If another game comes along that drives me away from Destiny, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
There's a game out there right now which is really fun. I love it. It's called Mario 64. Have you heard of this game?
I was watching last night painfully.
Oh man, that hurt.
I watched you go into that secret. You're like, oh, hidden wall, secret wall, and you jumped in and you immediately regretted it.
And I was like, nope. Mm-mm.
But you got it. You got there.
Today it ends. It ends today. It ends
Sure.
today. 100%. It ends today.
All right.
Mario
You're on the
64.
final boss. Well, when
Literally
you
the
make
final
it.
boss. No, I'm there.
You haven't made it to him yet.
I'm standing in front of the pipe that takes you down to the final boss.
Well, you got to do the level first. You got to get through the level.
I've already done it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm ready to go. I'm ready
All right.
to go.
I
Speaking of
believe in
ready to go, I'd like to introduce our guest today. Coming in hot. Look at this guy. Look. We talked about Beardo having a beard. Beardo, it's in his name.
I'm
But
no
this-
longer the best beard in the room.
Travis, I wouldn't say you've ever had the best beard of the room.
Well, neither, I
Damn.
know, but
Technically,
you guys-
right now
you
he
guys
does.
don't
hurting for
have
Travis.
one. So,
I was going to talk about Blabs. Blabs,
What?
good.
well,
I never
was gonna
actually
say,
considered it a beard. I always
if
saw it more
Blabs-
as a goatee.
if
I
Lab
agree.
has a gay friend, then she is considered a beard. So then that
I
would
mean,
be the best beard in the
I have a
room,
gay
right?
association.
There you
I don't
go.
know how that
gay
works.
Guy, but I don't
That's-
consider
Wait,
him a
what?
friend.
Girl best friends of gay people are called
Acquaintance, I
beards.
guess?
That's what they're
Hi,
called.
Shagsworth.
Hey, what's going on, friends?
Well, welcome to Gay Lingo 101.
This is
Learn
great.
something new every day.
but I'm sorry, Trav.
It's a
Girls
thing.
who are
I'm-
friends of gay guys are called
best-
beards?
The
Yes.
best friend that's a girl of a gay guy is a beard.
Yes.
Huh.
It's
How's
a
that?
thing.
Well, now we
I'm
all know.
telling you.
Is there
Huh.
what else? Is there any other lingo we should learn?
I don't know.
So if the gay guy has a beard, does that mean it's the beard's beard?
Sure.
The double beard, the beard squared.
Beard squared. Hmm.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
I haven't lived around other gay people in many, many years, so I don't know.
Okay. Is that by
Well, I mean-
choice or?
No. I
I'm
live in
just saying.
Illinois. Come on, and not near Chicago.
I don't know.
Well,
By choice.
I'll tell you this. You ran security at that the all inclusive. What was it? It was the what you did security or something after the porn shop or something. What did you do?
It was just security at a clothing optional resort.
Yes, that was for gay people, right?
Yes.
Yes, it was a gay clothing optional resort. So
Oh,
just
yeah.
balls everywhere.
Is that a requirement when signing in at the front desk? Like, are you gay though? No. Oh, sorry. You got to go next door.
Show us
That's
the
the.
gay
You
card.
probably ain't gonna
non-gay.
be very comfortable. I mean, you could come.
Okay.
You can
I love
what?
this. I love this statement. Flawed TV is in chat. He says, "Side scrollers always gets the biggest guests." Can't believe y'all got Jason Momoa on here. Do you get that
This
often,
guy.
Shags?
Yeah. I
Okay,
actually
calm
used to-
down.
it's a funny, it's a funny story because I lived in Hawaii for 10 years. So when I would bartend out there, I'd be tending bar, doing my thing, and then like once a day, you'd have some customer come up to be like, "Hey, does anyone ever told you look like Jason Momoa?" I'm like, "Oh my god, yes."
Once a day.
Is that a TARDIS?
Did you ever just say, "I am Jason"?
Is
Momoa"?
that a TARDIS? No, I think that's just this window.
I tried to play it off once and it didn't
but
work.
you're right. It does look like a TARDIS. Sorry.
And it didn't work.
I didn't
No?
have the right cut in my eyebrow there, but
Or the accent.
yeah. Couldn't
So
quite
what?
pass.
Someone thought you were Jason Momoa, and you were like, "Yes."
Yes, I'm here serving you a martini. Yes, researching a new role.
This is my side job.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Really trying
Yeah.
to get in the mind of the bartender.
Yep.
Well, we got in addition to having Jason Momoa on the show today, we have a really great show lined up. We have a lot to talk about. We have a million different items, including a fart spray prank gone horribly wrong, which was
This
inspired
is
by.
ridiculous.
We'll get to that in a little bit. John Wick 5 is coming. The greatest cameo that has been spoiled, which we're going to get into that later. I cannot wait to share that with you guys. We have an amazing new creation in Tears of the Kingdom, which I can't wait to share, as well as we're going to be talking Neuralink today. But I want to remind you guys a couple things. Number one, the Mario Funathon continues today. Listen, we're going hard today. Mario 64 will be beaten today. And Flawed is talking about farts, which is great.
It says he fart spray Mo every morning. That's his girl. I
All
found
right.
that funny. Found
Nice.
that humorous. I have the power. I'm going to do that periodically.
Please do it.
If you do that and your girl stays with you, you got something. Then.
She's a keeper, Flawed.
Maybe
We
it's
should keep her.
really great farts.
We should definitely have,
Fart
relationship.
Oh,
no.
wait, what are we talking about?
Hey, but I'll say, actually, hold on. Hold on to the fart thing. Hold on.
Some humor though, Blabs.
Hold on to the fart thing. I got this. Got something coming up for you guys. But we have a couple things here I want to point out. That Blake says he's listening to Side Scrollers while exploring the depths. That's a Tears of the Kingdoms reference right there. Thank you so much, Blake. And then this one from Noodles says, "Happy birthday, Blabs." Craig, did you end up playing Mario 64 yesterday? Tried to watch it in the evening, but was unable to find it. Much love, guys. I did not play it last. Actually, I took the night. I needed the night. So I did not stream last night, but I will be streaming and finishing Mario 64 today. But that is less important than celebrating Blab's birthday, which is coming up. We did a Blabs vs. Castlevania on Wednesday, but today is the Side Scroller's birthday Blab show. So everyone make sure you wish Blabs happy
birthday.
7. Senior
27.
citizen discount, here I come.
Working on it.
Happy birthday, Blabs.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
That was just for you.
Thanks.
So, Shagsworth, first time on the show. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and what you do?
You can find me all over the interwebs on, at the Shagsworth. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot, probably way more than I should be. But I do YouTube as well. I have a new podcast called Ready, Set, Shag, where I talk with creators that I really admire, people I look up to, just people I want to get to know. It's a longer format conversation show, and we're 6 episodes in.
Did you say it was Ready, Set, Shag?
Yeah,
love
the
it.
Best name.
Travis, just a question. What does that make you think of when you hear that that title?
He's like,
nothing. Shrugging it off. Like I can see your smile, dude. Smile. Sorry, Shags. Please continue.
No, it's funny because it was I couldn't settle on a name, and it was kind of a community chosen name, and then I remember telling my wife a couple of the options, and she was like, "That's the one," and I was like, "All right, we'll just go with that." It's something I think that'll catch on because I think at first, like when you first hear it, I know exactly what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I like it.
So, but it's catchy at the same time. And I also do a Wednesday night show, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. It's called the Midweek Hump, where we just talk about random stuff. A lot of kind of like what you guys do. It was started as sort of a way for us to have our own Friday Night Tights show, and it kind of split the week up. So at the hump of the week, right in the middle of the week, you come into my channel and hang out and just chill and talk about a bunch of stuff. Adam's been on a couple of times. It's been a lot of fun.
So just to be clear, you're purposely putting Shag and Hump in the title, right? Is that the idea?
Yep. You got to pull that thread right through everything.
You're not gonna forget it.
Nope.
Sex. Got it. All right. Awesome.
Hey, sex sells. All right.
Yeah.
That's right. So do sweet beards. Sweet beards. All right.
Yeah, that's really all I do, man. I just talk to people and I enjoy it, and I play games with Adam occasionally. I love Destiny.
Not enough, but
I know. I've been slacking big time.
I really wanted to say I just talk to people and have a great beard.
Yeah. I talk to people and I know things and have great facial hair.
Perfect. Nailed it. Everyone go subscribe to the Shagsworth over on everywhere and get on it. All right. Look, we got a lot going on. Lots to talk about. A lot of quick hits today. But before we do, let's get into my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for...
Hard news.
All right. The big news coming out of the last day or so is this Neuralink. Man, oh man, we got a lot to talk about today with Neuralink. They announced over on Twitter, we are excited to share that we have received the FDA's approval to launch our first in-human clinical study. This is a result of incredible work by the Neuralink team in close collaboration with the FDA and represents an important first step that will allow our technology to help many people. Recruitment is not yet open for a clinical trial. We'll announce more information soon. So, for those of you who don't know what Neuralink is, it is a device that is being implanted into your brain, which sounds pretty damn scary. But I thought, as opposed to me trying to describe what this is, we would let Elon Musk describe exactly what this is. I have a video pulled up, and we'll watch this really quick, and then we'll get into our overall thoughts on this.
What's our goal? Our goal is to solve important spine and brain problems with a seamlessly implanted device. So you want to have a device that you can basically put in your head and feel and look totally normal, but it solves some important problem in your brain or spine. And the reality is that almost everyone over time will develop brain and spine problems. These range from minor to very severe, but if you live long enough, everyone's going to basically have some kind of neurological disorder. And these range, from memory loss to brain damage. But the thing that's important to appreciate is that an implantable device can actually solve these problems. I think a lot of people don't quite realize that. But all of your senses, your sight, hearing, feeling, pain, these are all electrical signals sent by neurons to your brain. And if you can correct these signals, you can solve everything from memory loss, hearing loss, blindness, paralysis, depression, insomnia, extreme pain, seizures, anxiety, addiction, strokes, brain damage. These can all be solved with an implantable Neuralink. This is
All right, so you get the idea. There's about 30 more seconds of that, but it's something that gets put in your brain, and the idea in theory is that it's helping people with spine issues if they having brain issues. They've had, and just for reference, that video is from 2 years ago, right? So people are like, oh, he sounds kind of nervous, and I think a lot of people in the chat, the initial response is, nope, we ain't doing that shit. What was interesting about this is there was actually a story that is not Neuralink related about a guy who was paralyzed 10 years ago, and they're using something kind of similar. He had like a crown on that was connected to his brain, and then there was another one that was connected to the base of his back, I believe, and allowed him to walk for the first time using electrical signals and stuff. But the Neuralink removes the crown and actually puts it on your brain, bingo, bongo, bingo, and everyone is happy and people are walking, and so I'm going to open it up. This is between AI, between Neuralink, technology is flying incredibly fast. Let's open it up first. Let's go to Blabs first, and we'll work our way around the horn. Blabs, what are your thoughts on Neuralink?
Well, I think it can be used for a lot of good things, just like everything can. But honestly, I'm very hesitant with AI and all these advancements that they can. It's like in the movies, right? The AI can take over and all this weird shit. But I think if done right, it can actually really help people. Like, who am I to say what someone else can and cannot do with their body, with with these implants? If it can help them with like paralysis and like actually be able to walk and do like things that most people take for granted 24/7, I'm not gonna stand in their way. If they just want to go like be able to walk, like that's a lot. So for me, it's a gray area. It's like, yeah, on one hand you can do all these cool things, and on the other hand, a lot of technology putting something in your brain. It's scary. I don't know. It's brand new. Come back to me maybe in 50 years.
So it's funny you mentioned that because
you're dead.
Dead?
How old are you going to
do all the
be?
testing.
I'm only 27.
Yeah. How old is the average lifespan of a Guamanian woman?
I don't know.
It's really dark, Travis.
I think it's
Damn.
83,
Yeah.
actually. She'll be fine.
Jeez.
is that a death threat, Travis? Are you coming after Blabs? My God, no.
Time is coming for you.
It's her birthday, dude.
I just thought about it. I'm gonna die by then, so I can't.
Happy birthday, Blabs. One day you'll die.
Right.
Damn.
Time waits for no one.
Oh, she said, ask me in 50 years. I'm like, okay, can I ask her in 50 years?
Well,
No, I'll
it's
be
so brand
dead.
new. You can't really say yes or no because it's still being tested. Like, you don't know. It's I don't know. It's very new. It's a big gray area.
Trav?
Can you pull up the list of things that he had on that video?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot there. Let me see if I
Right.
can get it real
So
quick.
there's some things on there that I'm okay with this doing. Like Blab said, paralyzation. If somebody can walk again, great. If you're blind and this can help you, wonderful. But I don't think we need to be treating anxiety or depression with a chip in the brain. That sounds to me like now we're fucking with neurochemical shit. Like
We already do that with pharmaceuticals.
right, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, let's make it 10 times worse. You know what I mean? Like blindness,
Well,
okay.
I think this would be better
paralyzation,
than
okay.
actually chemicals in your brain.
Yeah,
Seizures,
know-
okay. But
I'm with Adam on this, Trav. I actually think that if you can remove the chemical aspect of pharmaceuticals and you can have a situation that is we don't know what the business model of this is. I'm sure it's some sort of subscription-based service. It's not like one of those you pay 10 grand. This is you're paying for your brain to be working properly every month type of thing. But
maybe they decide they want you more docile now.
Right. And we don't know. And that's ultimately, I think that's the scary thing for a lot of people, is the idea of who has their hand on the dial, right? Shagsworth, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the logistics of this are an absolute nightmare. Like you said, like you have to start thinking of like when you put a computer chip in your brain, you hope it's a closed system, but I mean everything is like Wi-Fi nowadays. So how does that interact with other devices? Like my phone interacts with my internet interacts with my microwave. Like my microwave goes on, my internet sometimes will drop out. Like so how does all this stuff relate? I agree that I think the anxiety and depression thing, I mean, I think some people have it like to a debilitating extent, but I think you're really messing with people's ability to overcome these challenges. Like those are a little bit easier than like say blindness, something that may have been born with. I have seizures. I've had seizures in the past, and they're not they're talking about like when a child or kid has seizures like relentlessly, like multiple a day. Like that's huge. That's life-changing for people. But there's also non-invasive ways that they've been treating that stuff too. So
that are still illegal.
Right. And you got to think like these things, Blabs is right. In about 50 years, I think we'll be ready to really dial into these things. Bless the people who want to try this out, but you risk, I think, even greater damage to your body if the implant doesn't take. I mean, organs which are meant to go in our body sometimes don't hold. So I can imagine some similar issues with something like a computer chip or something like that. So I'm skeptical. I hope it works, but
what happens if you go in an airplane? Right?
yeah, right. You can't even have your cell phone. You got to turn on cell phone mode to get on your airplane mode.
This is a good point, actually. I didn't even think of it. So, are you guys familiar with the cochlear implant? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Sounds really familiar.
Right. It's a device that goes in the back of your head that allows people who are deaf to hear again. It stimulates the things inside of the ear that allow you to hear. But when you get those, you can no longer you can't get MRIs. Because there's metal in your skull. So if you go, so is that going to be the same thing with Neuralink? How are they going to do?
Yeah. How do you get
think
tested?
about
Right.
Think about solar flares. They send out EMPs. So if you're in a lower protected area of solar radiation or whatever, or you're higher in the sky in a plane, is that going to shut off your implant? Now you can't walk.
Yeah.
You're walking to the bathroom on a plane. Your shit shuts down. You fall down. You know what I mean?
Adam, you obviously have a lot to say here. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Well, I watched the entire 2 years ago when you played that clip. I watched the whole stream because he did a very long stream, and I was very interested in learning about Neuralink because it's an incredible advancement. And you take someone like Elon Musk, who is an incredibly high functioning human being. Him with a Neuralink will be exponentially stronger and be able to do a lot more things. And I think there's a lot of humans out there that would actually propel and excel in life because of the amount of things that they can do. That is a very it's just one facet of the Neuralink. It also allows you to instantly connect with any electronic device. You can also see in infrared. There's a lot of things that it's actually almost making you it's a cyborg enhancement, essentially. The fact that when I learned that you can actually see in different spectrums, you can actually tell your eyes to see a different spectrum of light. Like that's insane.
Can I see the gender spectrum?
No, that's imaginary.
Okay.
But the advancements of what this can do for people, like I understand what Elon Musk is trying to do, his vision of what Neuralink could be. But my fear is society and where we are right now with our lack of ambition, our laziness, our entitlement, our hubris, or lack of rather, people are just going to get more lazy. They're going to go down the Wall-E path of sitting comfortably in a chair, living in the internet and probably half of the people who use Neuralink will just end up watching porn in their heads, or like getting stuck in a loop of scrolling Twitter in their brain instead of living in reality. We already have families that are just living in their phones instead of connecting and being together in life, which is so important for kids to have as they're growing up. I feel like this is a huge split. I feel like not even half, probably a significantly smaller percentage of people who get Neuralink will actually use it for the benefits that, like we were talking about, getting rid of pain. Well, pain is actually the body telling you something's wrong. So if you get rid of pain, that's why lepers just lose. They can nick their I don't know, their elbow on something and not realize that they had pain there, and then it gets infected and starts rotting, and then they have to lose their arm because they don't know that there's actually something that they need to clean a wound, right? So if you get rid of pain, it's like I could see that going down a bad path. But hey, man, if it's going to help Alzheimer's, if it's going to help people walk again who can't walk anymore, paralysis, maybe like Parkinson's can be solved. Like there's a lot of amazing things that I see this helping humanity with, and I'm all about helping humanity. But I also understand that there's evil in the world, and I don't know if these things can be hacked. You actually mentioned it earlier. What if they want us more docile? What if they want to just, let me just tone these people down, just hit the buttons, go to work, go home, and scroll Twitter, scroll Instagram. Don't worry about it. Don't advance your life at all. We don't want you individuals. We want people to be lemmings, and we obviously being the people who are running the show, who want to control the planet, the people who built the Georgia Guidestones that think 500 million people is the limit on Earth, and anything more needs to be culled down to that limit. And those people exist on this planet, and they're the ones with the money.
So I think that case. Sure, and I think that for me, everything that we're talking about here, right? The idea of these things, when you talk about brain damage, right? Paralysis, blindness, even hearing loss, right? Even I would say even addiction, but addiction is kind of a gray area, right? There are certain things here that I think make a lot of sense, but I always go back to this saying every single time. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And while Elon Musk may have good intentions, at the end of the day, there will be way too many people who abuse this than use it the right way. Now, I will say this. I've been keeping track of the chat, and CDI came in with this. This is kind of interesting. It says, my kid's scoliosis is currently controlled by a WCR brace, which is designed to correct his curve. He's been out of that brace for a year, but we'll have to go back for another year to correct again. It's way better than open surgery every year and implanting rods, right? So, that's obviously a technical advancement that's happened over the years, right? Because initially it was like, we're going to put some rods in, we're going to correct it. And you wonder if Neuralink could potentially be, the next step from what barriers are going to be in place for to receive a Neuralink, right? Because the reality is that this is going to happen. If the FDA is approving some sort of study, unless people are, it's shown that it can be used in a malicious way, the FDA may even approve it. Then who knows? But
as long as they control it,
right?
Yeah.
And
Money.
once again, it goes back to who is controlling it, who has their finger on the knob. What are the barriers that to where you say, well, I'm depressed, but I want to be really happy. I mean, how happy do you get to be?
That's my issue right there. So we already are at a point in our society where somebody's parent thinks they misbehaved, so now they get a drug immediately without a professional telling them they have a condition because a parent wants them to have it. A parent's not a professional. Sorry. You're with your kid every day, yes, but you're not a medical professional. You can't diagnose your child without help. But
and it's more band-aids. I've had this. I've mentioned this so many times about how society just wants to put more band-aids on instead of going down to the root and saying, why is this happening? What is causing this to happen? Maybe it's just a freaking kid who has a lot of energy. Like that exists. No,
Maybe
they don't
he
have
does-
ADHD. Maybe they just are a kid and they have
Doesn't get attention.
just they could be crying out for attention. Maybe
You
not
know what
even
I'm
that.
saying? And
Yeah,
then the
that's
parent
one
says
of
it's
many
their fault.
reasons.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my issue.
I'm
here.
sick of that.
I
that
could see
Band-Aid
a
culture we
child
live in.
getting Neuralink and them saying, well, he has depression and anxiety and all this because their parent says it, and then the doctor's like, well, the parent knows their kid and giving it to them. You know what I mean?
No. We live in a society now where kids can make decisions to alter their bodies, right? And we live in a society that if a kid goes to a doctor and they say, hey, I'm experiencing something on this list. You know, I'm experiencing depression. I'm experiencing anxiety. Who are we to say these kids don't know their own bodies and can't make their decisions? Who are we to say? By the way, total sarcasm in case you can't tell.
I think that's the same problem with the parents diagnosing. Self-diagnosis, even for adults, is horrible. You know,
I do want to add, I
don't think doctors are the best at it either because
Shagsworth, what you got?
You know what I mean?
Well, just to be fair, I think that I don't think this is something that will be a consumer product anytime soon, like not in our lifetime. I do think it's important that we make the case that it's not something that people should have their own personal app to like, whoa, let me dial up the serotonin a bit, or like, oh, I need a shot of melatonin to get to sleep. Like, I think all of that is bad. And I'm a big advocate for, you know, overcoming your obstacles is something we've gotten away with. We retreat into, you know, our safe spaces. We avoid confrontation, and that's just not how we overcome it. I mean, I have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and like every day is a challenge with them, like teaching them, like, don't give up on that. Like, put it down, come back. Like, like people need to be taught that. Adults now need to be retaught that.
Absolutely.
You don't need to numb yourself into oblivion. Like sometimes, as you said, Adam, like there's a reason that you have pain. And the Marines believe that pain is weakness leaving the body. That's like, or it's the Army, one of the two. Like that's their motto. Pain is weakness leaving the body. If people had that mentality, they would be there. But I'll play devil's advocate and say, I don't think this will be a consumer product anytime soon. I think it will be something that you have to go to a physician for. They will put it in, and, you know, I don't know. It's a lot of power to wield out of the gate.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me just say real quick. The road to improvement is always uncomfortable. And people do not like to be uncomfortable. We live in a society that's built to make us as comfortable as possible. And people want to stay on that road. They want to live in that place of comfort. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Oh, facing that childhood trauma that I had to deal with. That's very uncomfortable and very triggering. I don't ever want to do it. I'm going to shove it down in a little box and never open it and take drugs for the rest of my life so I don't have to think about it. I mean, that is just one example. But everyone has something that they need to get over. When you can actually be uncomfortable enough and be vulnerable enough to actually face the shit that has led you to need antidepressants or any one of the listen SSRI, whatever you want to do, you know, it's like you will be uncomfortable doing that. It's not a comfortable road to go down. Maybe you need to have therapy to like really face some of these issues instead of putting Band-Aids on, which these Band-Aids are causing mental health issues all around, because when you don't take care of the core issue, it's gonna creep out. And if your mind is being manipulated or altered by pharmaceutical drugs, and then maybe it clashes with some of your internal trauma that you're not facing, like shit can go crazy. And I don't want to was going to bring something up with like shooters that they keep finding. It's like most of them are on SSRIs. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
It's like that's a thing. They fuck with people's brains.
SSRI.
Yeah, it's like that's a term. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's like
it's
antidepressants, mood stabilizers,
selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Right. And it's like most teenagers, not a lot, not most, but there's a shit ton of them. It's like something like 53% of single white women over the age of 50 are on these drugs. It's like, damn, that's a lot.
Yep.
Man, you know, we were just, you know, we mentioned the idea of how they monetize this, and Snot Lips comes in and like just blew my mind with this statement. He says, "Can't wait to see random ads appearing in my thoughts."
He
Right?
ain't wrong.
Like, think
Somebody
about
has
this.
to make money.
Think about the idea of if you are Coca-Cola, right? And you're like, "Hey, Neuralink, I would like to drive my sales up a little more. I would like people to crave a Coke." And all you need to do is just, pull up a good memory, or just, once again, if we're talking about taste buds, if these are electrical signals, oh man, what am I craving? I'm craving some sugar right now. I'm craving whatever.
You're gonna make us fat.
My
Sure.
God.
Or the
Like
opposite.
Well, think
No,
about
I could see it being a benefit. Like I am having problems eating too much sugar, but if I could give my brain thinking that I just had some sugar, I still get that same kind of kick. Like, oh, I just had sugar, but you're not actually consuming sugar, so you're tricking the body. That's what when it says addiction in there, that's probably what it's doing. I
Yeah.
definitely see the benefits, and I want to
that's
actually address.
the
Someone
same
just said
thing
to
as
me,
an SSRI, though.
so, well, but without actually manipulating the brain neurons or with chemicals, there's a huge difference, and very much not the same as far as I'm
Just
concerned.
stimulating the brain to make more of a chemical.
But not with chemicals. Using
Without the
actual,
It just makes it itself.
it depends. It depends. I don't know if it's the same, because if it's coming from your own body, and your body's making it instead of actually adding chemicals that maybe tells your brain to produce more of that chemical, it's not the same. It's adding a different thing. But you know what? I'm not a doctor, and I don't know that much about it. But I want to address. Someone just says, Adam, I think you were biased in the opposite direction. Actually, let me just do I see it here? I don't know. I'll just keep reading it. Seeing only band-aids instead of help in places where there is actual help. Look, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand the need for medicine. Medicine is incredible, and it's the reason why our life expectancy as human beings has just been getting higher and higher and higher, because we're able to keep ourselves alive and help think. Although I think they figured out the cure for cancer long ago, but they want us sick. But regardless, I understand the benefits of medicine. It's not like I'm against medicine or against advances. Another thing about Neuralink that I don't think we've talked about is space. Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars. If you look at the advancements of space shuttles, of just like Dragon, which is the new space, the newish space capsule, where they actually are sitting in, versus back in the day, whether or not you believe we went to the moon, it doesn't matter, because right now they have touch screens. They just hit a button and it's a completely different subsystem that they can control. They can control the engine. Boom, hit a button and the whole screen shifts to something different. Everything is on a panel in front of them. If they have Neuralink, then maybe they don't even need a panel in front of them. Suddenly they're just like, they're thinking like, all right, is the gas release pressure, blah, 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 is the ratios done correctly? Yes, everything's nominal. All right, we're liftoff. Like, okay, we got to adjust the yaw. We got to adjust the pitch to connect to the International Space Station. I'm doing it all in my brain, like instantly. I'm not actually having to control it. And they can get precise with it. Or going to Mars. I mean, instant communication. They don't have to actually, maybe if they couldn't physically move, they could just think and tell Houston, we've got a problem. I'm just like imagining like what it could be used for. Like Neuralink, again, it's amazing and also incredibly frightening.
But do you think
I'm for it and also very much against it? It's weird. I'm torn.
Well, do you? And this is, I guess, the question for the entire panel. Do you think that there'll be an acceptable, like, rate of acceptance within the body of this? Because I honestly don't know. I don't know if the body will accept the technology itself. Like, I know we've been able to graph stuff, but like now you're talking about a working computer interfacing with your mind. Like,
yeah, I think so.
And then there was a question in the chat earlier that we didn't bring up. Like, what happens when that malfunctions? Because every machine at some point malfunctions, and what happens?
Exactly.
Or degrades. Like I said earlier, what happens when they made something on that chip or whatever that they find out in 20 years degrades, and now it's like eating into your brain?
Yeah.
You know, like that. What was that hernia net that they said, oh, this fixes people's hernias, we'll sew it in and all that. And then come to find out it was causing people extreme pain and they were living with it for 40 fucking years.
Right. This is
is, but sounds horrible.
I don't know what it is either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hernia
sounds
net.
horrendous.
I will
No,
say I do
you don't
have
have
a
to
friend
explain
named
it. Oh.
Tia who is paralyzed and she doesn't have the use of any of her limbs and stuff. And I would love to see her be able to walk. So
Like, and to be clear, I think we all 100% agree with that use of this,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody is totally on board with people who can't walk, being able to walk, maybe slowing MS or maybe reversing MS, right? I have family members who have crazy mental issues, right? Extended family members who would benefit greatly from this. But when you have something, once again, it goes back to as broad as depression, as broad as anxiety, right? And you allow those as things that can be that I think that's where I kind of draw my line, right? Everybody suffers, goes through a depression. Everybody suffers anxiety. Everybody has these times in their life where you don't feel normal, and you shouldn't run and go get a quick fix for that. You got to work through these things, and you certainly shouldn't get something implanted in your brain.
100%.
So, all right. Well, it's an interesting discussion, and I'm glad to have it with you guys. I think it's really good. I wanted to open up the discussion to the chat as well. So let me go and read off some of these super chats and donations, guys. Thank you again for your support today. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll start with.
I want to add one more thing to this
Sure.
this topic, if you don't mind.
Yes. Yes.
There is a huge push for AI. Like, we didn't really talk about AI. We were talking about Neuralink and the implications of that in society. But with the advancements of AI and the ability to connect our brains into like a neural network, which is the internet. The internet is essentially a higher tiered brain because we're all little nodes on the internet, right? We're all interconnected. Like all of us right here, we're all over the place. I'm on the other side of the planet, but we're all connected. We're having this conversation. AI and Neuralink is going to allow us to connect even quicker. But one thing that there are a lot of people pushing for is to become a part of the Neuralink. Like, what is that movie? Transcendence. Did you guys see that with Johnny Depp?
yeah, it was a great movie.
So that there are people that want that want to be able to like put their brain in a AI body where they basically are it. That's them. They're in that. It was in District 9. No, not District 9.
Ready Player One.
No, it was the robot movie. What's the same people who made District 9 did it?
Oh, the one with Hugh Jackman punching robots.
Yeah. No, not the fighting one.
Steel?
But
Real Steel.
No. That Hugh Jackman, funny enough, was in this movie. But it's
Chappie.
Chappie, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, Chappie. Great movie, by the way. I really like that.
Chappie
but at
was
the
good.
end, one of them puts their brain into one of the robots, and then boom, he's in there. Like that's people are actually pushing for that. They want to be able to live forever, essentially. And I think that's gonna happen eventually. Like you said, Neuralink is inevitable. It's coming. Like people are gonna be against. There's always gonna be a group of people against it. Like that group in Altered Carbon that are just like against the stacks. They're 100% for living a life and then dying, and that's what life is. That's what makes life worth it, because we're all gonna die eventually, right, Blabs?
I'm gonna die within 50 years. Thanks.
I don't know. We gotta be careful, because there are people out there that are evil and want to control the planet, and just like in Altered Carbon, they're called meths. And they're the people who never die. They're the ones that live up in the clouds and control everything and run the world. And if it comes to the point where someone can live forever, they don't want to die. They want to live forever. They want to be in control.
Could you
Sounds like
imagine?
the future?
Could you imagine?
Labs, I'm sorry, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
I did not mean you're gonna die.
Oh, it's too late. You're
gonna
now
live forever.
cemented.
It's
When
too
a
you're-
late.
new
He's
in
a
50
scam.
years,
Predicted my
They're gonna
death.
put you
It's
in a
fine.
robot body. You're gonna get a new robot body then, and you're just gonna be in your robot body.
Hey,
The
but
blood
seriously,
would that be considered dying? Would you
I think so, but-
like would you die at that point where
I
like
wouldn't
all right,
even go on
your
a transporter.
your
though.
body dies, but your brain or your personality, because that's really what it is, right?
Adam
It's
wants a ghost like in Destiny.
I
Go on.
I think it starts and stops with your soul.
Yep.
You know,
What is the soul?
Right.
Oh man, how
Figure
much time
that
you
out.
got?
right.
It's a
Right.
conversation.
Yeah.
What,
Well,
do
I'll
you
tell
lose
you.
your soul when you become when you get put into a robot?
Well, I think there's look, I think what Elon was saying is that at the end of the day, what's really happening, these words coming out of my mouth, my fingers being able to touch the feel that I feel, these are all electrical impulses that go through, right? That's
true.
all this is, right? So, you know,
That's going through a robot.
if my brain gets put into a robot, do I still feel those things? Do I smell the strawberries? Can I taste the Diet Dr. Pepper? You know, whatever. Like,
How advanced is that robot?
What if it's
I
a
don't know.
robot with a Neuralink chip, and the Neuralink chip tells you this is what that feels like when you touch it, but you're not actually touching it, but it feels like you're touching it.
all of
VR,
these
in real
all
life.
of these what ifs are exactly why this conversation is so absolutely terrifying, right?
It's the
And
Matrix.
scary.
How do you know it
oh,
actually
yeah.
tastes like chicken? Have you ever
Right.
had chicken, or is it just your brain telling a bunch of neuron? Like, I don't remember what he says.
Right.
It's just
Mhm.
electrical impulses telling your brain that it's chicken if that's what it tastes like.
But
A
this gets to a
maximum
more.
of
Exactly.
50 years.
It gets to
We'll
a more
get a little bit more.
philosophical. It gets to a more philosophical
guest,
question
please.
of like,
Sorry.
of what makes like what's our purpose, and like the soul, like what is that? Like, I'm not a religious person, but I would say like our limited time here on this earth is something that makes like life so precious, and what holds value, which makes the room so bright or so dark, or like otherwise it is just like you might as well have like a mouthful of ash. Like it doesn't matter what that thing is, but the finite nature of humans is like, I think that's part of our soul. And when that's gone, when you can just upload your consciousness into a flash drive and stick that into a machine, like I think we've lost the way. And I think we've lost the soul at that point,
Just out of curiosity, and we'll put a bow on this here in a second, read off these super chats. But
Sorry.
when we talk about VR, these implants, things like that, have you seen the video? It was a couple years ago, where she is interacting with her dead child via VR. Have you seen this video?
I've
No.
heard of
Of
this
the-
shit before.
So this lady,
Fucking weird,
yes, this lady is interacting with, what they did was they created her daughter died, and they went in and they recreated her daughter in VR.
This is the
And
exact
it
problem I
is-
have with all of this is like, okay, so now she's not going to address ever that her daughter died. She's never going to face it because she has a substitute. So she can live with this program. It
Oh,
could
no.
probably grow up too.
Listen, this is
Yeah, keep telling us
terrifying.
about
I
it.
just
What is it?
I want you to watch about a minute of this, because I just pulled it up. Okay, here's a
Okay.
minute of this video of this lady. As a father, this video is heartbreaking. Right? All she wants
Yeah.
to do is bend
Yeah.
over, touch her kid, and give her. I want to hug you, but she can't, and she's having interactions with this child. And the reality is that nothing is there. Nothing is there.
That's my point. So say she gets the Neuralink and now she can feel touching her daughter. The Neuralink tells her she's feeling it. So now she has this experience in her brain where she thinks she feels she's holding her daughter. She gets those chemical reactions because the Neuralink tells her brain to have it. Now you're going to say no to that as a parent who lost your child?
But I mean,
This is
hell,
that is so fucked up.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it is.
horrible.
It's terrifying. It makes Shagsworth. You're like I said, you got a 4 and a 5-year-old. Can you even imagine? It's emotional.
This is why this is the case against consumer products like Neuralink. Like, this is why it should not be a consumer product, because this is what people retreat into. And this is where you get things like Ready Player One, and you get the dystopian futures, because people don't want to face reality anymore. Why do anything when you can just live out a fantasy that you want in your room? And then again, it becomes like a Wall-E issue where people just sit like they press a button, thing comes, and they just become this blob. And like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm still enjoying myself and I'm happy. This is what happens when you encourage a lack of purpose in people in their lives. You don't encourage them to have purpose, which leads to happiness. I had a great conversation with Adam B. Coleman the other day about this very thing.
Great guy. Love Adam.
Yeah.
I don't think Austin's wrong, but
let me go and read this off really quick.
Therapist.
Travis, let's go and read this off first. Okay. He says, Austin says, that's not true. These programs can help people move on. It is a way for people to accept and move on. Like when therapists make people relive their trauma in order to move on. I think that's an interesting take, right? And we talk about, Adam, you're big on, you said the idea of you got to fight through this pain, right? And this lady is like, I would love to see a follow up on this, just like what she thought afterwards, as if it helped her with closure, did it just mess her up even more? The idea that this was her child that died in 2016. 6 years later, this child would have been, let's say a teenager, right? But it's still seeing it in this form, and you wonder if it helped.
I don't know how that woman's daughter died, right? But the first thing the daughter said was, "Where were you, Mama?" And it's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
It's like that to me is like, it's going to instill like, did the mother feel like she was guilty or I don't know how she died, right? So imagine if like the mother wasn't there for her and she ended up dying. Like that's going to make it exponentially worse. Like whoever programmed that AI, if it was there for therapy, I think it would be more along the lines of, it's okay, Mom, I'm at peace. Like you can let me go. Like, thank you. I loved you. Like, thank you for giving me the life that I lived. Like, I loved the life that I had, but now it's time to let me go. Like, or I don't know. I'm not a therapist,
like
so
that,
but any sense of the word. But I mean that didn't seem like it was helpful for her.
Yeah,
She was crying and like trying to touch her child and like as if she wanted her to be there and like hold on to it.
Right. And who's the authority on
where were you, Mom? That's fucked up.
Right. And who's the authority that this would help like facing something like this is something that's never ever been used. So if a therapist came to me and says, "Oh, I think if you go and hang out with your dead daughter, I think you'll get over this."
In a VR world? Yeah.
Yeah, like no, like I think the again, we've said this time and time again, facing the reality that the person is not coming back, that the interaction will never happen again, is how you bridge the gap back to reality and how you bridge the gap back to healing, right? I mean, if I cut my arm off, or if my arm gets cut off from a tragic accident, going into VR and looking at my arm is not going to help me get over it. Accepting that it's not there and learning how to move forward without that limb is where we go. Of course, prosthetics exist, blah, 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 but like you'll never feel anything with your hands again. And going into VR won't, in the same way that a VR program will never, ever replace the warm love of a child. And like, honestly, it's probably the worst thing you can do for
everybody deals with grief differently, right?
So of course.
Even if it works for 10%, who's to say the other 90% it would work? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It might work for some, but I think for the broad swath of people, like again, if we're talking about the larger majority, I think exposing people to this, again, it opens up more doors for people to retreat into rather than to push through into the next arena, the next room. It's got to be careful.
So just for reference, her daughter died in 2016 from an incurable disease, whatever that means, right? Yeah. So she died from a disease. But Adam, you bring up a really good point, right? The emotional blackmail of this fake AI child that looks like her child coming up and being like, "Where have you been?" Like that is.
Where were you?
Where were you? I've missed you.
What does that mean?
That is so fucked up. And if they were to come in and you want to talk about like the emotional weight being lifted and being like, "Look, it's okay. I love you.
Yeah.
It's time to move on." You know?
I could see that being acceptable if that's what it was, but that's not what that was.
And you hear about people who have dreams, right? like my mom, even me, like I've had dreams where you have experiences with dead family members. Like my mom she spoke to her mom and her dad in dreams. I've seen my grandpa, and you have these interactions and it feels like real life. I know that many people have had those things, and sometimes those dreams are comforting. They allow you to move on, even though it's, like, what you can talk about, whatever the dream realm is, if it's whatever, you can go into a deeper conversation there, but those conversations, they help you move on, or they give you guidance in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your subconscious or whatever it is.
That's the body finding its own way to get over it.
Yeah, it's not on demand, which is different.
Right. Look, we've gone on for about an hour on this, and we could probably go on for about 3 or 4 more, because this
it's a very fascinating conversation.
Yeah, and let me go read some of these super chats, because there's a lot here, and I offer like I said, I think it's important to hear other people's perspective. Like Austin was saying, hey, look, this could help people, and I think it's important to hear that, and I don't disagree. But
I think we've all said the same thing. It's a little scary, and it looks like it could help a lot of people.
Bethesda's Lore Master says, implant something into your brain, and we promise not to abuse it with monitoring and making you an NPC drone. Trust us, like you did during COVID.
Based.
Yeah. Extra Zero says, ever seen the movie Upgrade? Pretty cautionary tale about neural implants. If there's no external connection, I'm okay with it for restoring functions.
Agreed.
Bored Panda came in and says, happy birthday, Blabs. Just a reminder, your days are numbered.
Cheers. Thank you.
And
wait, I got something for that. Hold on.
Hey, Blabs. Travis wants you to watch your back.
Yeah, Travis is gonna kill me, I guess, within 50 years.
And this sometime in the next 50 years, Blabs, Travis is just gonna be behind you and just.
Whoa!
No, in exactly 50 years.
50 years from now.
Right, it's May 26th.
Lock your doors, Blabs.
1:01 p.m.
Bored Panda also gifted a membership to the Fantastic Sarcastic. That is awesome. Lucario Stormblade came in with a 5, says, I feel that this could change the world, but not in a good way. My main concern lies with those who have the power to control this technology.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with you. Then they followed up with another 5. Thank you so much, Lucario. Says, there's a song/music video out there that actually highlights the addictions our society is dealing with, technology, pharmaceuticals, and vanity, called Noise by Nightwash. It's actually really good. Nice. Well, maybe we'll check that out. Thank you so much, Lucario. Greatly appreciate the support. Trevor came in with the 5, says, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and the Blade Runner novel inspired by it? There is an emotion box that controls your emotions at will. I'm not familiar with Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I'm not familiar, but thank you so much, Trevor. Appreciate that. Dig into that a little bit. Extra Zero came back with the $5 super chat, says, I'm worried about brain implants making people behave, think, feel differently, just as we see AI being programmed to prioritize wokeness over logic. Yes, yep. I think that's definitely worth talk about having a discussion about. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Shane came in with the massive $19.99. Thank you so much. Says, I know not everyone here is a Christian, but this Neuralink has Mark of the Beast vibes all over it. Not trying to push my faith on others here. As a pharmacist, my faith in medicine has shifted to my faith in Christ recently. That's interesting. The idea of Shane saying, look, I'm a pharmacist, but hey, you can only do so much. Shane, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I'm interested in this perspective here. Willing Through Life with Brian says, I'm paralyzed from the waist down from birth. I don't want this if this comes out in my lifetime. I'm afraid if it will malfunction. And then what?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if then
he'll be paralyzed?
His arms, right?
But what if you
die?
Well, what if you could walk for the rest of your life?
True.
Yeah, right. It's risky.
I mean,
it's kind of like the surgeries.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
if he's been paralyzed his whole life, his legs have never walked. So there's a lot of physical therapy, even
the atrophy,
that he needs to do for months and years to be able to walk.
Correct. You're 100% right.
Unless he's been doing physical therapy his entire life.
If he's paralyzed, they aren't gonna. You can't work him out.
At
I will
all?
say this.
Even
No.
just building muscle?
I don't
No,
think so. If he's
no.
paralyzed.
What about that electric belt that
Yeah,
people wrap around
that
there? It
shakes
just
you.
like
It
it shocks,
those
it shocks
actually
the
work.
muscle. Let's just
The
put them all
what
over
about
your
the-
legs.
The 1950s thing that you stand
Shakers?
up and it shakes you.
Yeah.
I will say this to kind of blabs to further what Travis is saying. My daughter has been in a cast for 2 weeks. She broke her growth plate in her left foot. We got the cast off yesterday, and the amount of
shit's
strength
stank.
it was rank, but the amount of strength that she lost
Yep.
in her foot in just 2 weeks, like
Crazy.
she couldn't stand. So the idea of having somebody who is 30, 35 years old go from never walking to just getting up and walking, no, like Travis is right. The amount of PT that would need to be done just to get you up on your feet
Oh, I
before you
agree
even take a step.
100%. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
what if this people who are paralyzed, they still go in for physical therapy? I don't know. Do people still do that just to keep yourself moving, even if you're not moving those muscles?
They
obviously?
do it, but I think it's more about blood flow, and so
Oh, that
because
too, but
they'll
it's-
atrophy in a way, like your hands will curl up and your feet will curl up and stuff if they don't keep them moving.
It's a good question for Brian. Brian, can you answer that question for
Maybe
us?
they use the pools, because I know the pools. I use the pool a lot too for physical therapy. That helps with weight and everything.
Blake came in with the two. Says Blake calling it density, just
you
like
my
George
density?
McFly.
Are you my density?
I keep doing it. I said it once on density stream stand when I keep doing it forever now. No, I just can't stop. By accident.
Peter came in with the 5. Thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate that. It says, if Blabs were to be a robot, can we call her a Roblabs?
Well, I mean, robots don't have any type of like human to it, so wouldn't it be a cyborg? So then I'd be Cyblabs.
Cyblabs. There you go. I like it.
I like that. That's more catchy.
And
Diana Francisco over on Rumble says, imagine a world where others have control over your mind and body. Wait, like lockdowns.
Huh.
No, thank you to Neuralink.
Interesting.
no thanks.
No, thank you.
Brian came back with the 5. Says, I guarantee you will need a doctor to sign off on Neuralink, and you will need an OT, occupational therapist, to fit this on you and train you with it. It will be expensive. Oh, of course. This will be a business. 100%. Of
I mean,
billion-dollar business.
honestly, you would need to take a competency test and like to be able to I don't know. I feel like this needs to be. I agree 100% with what Shags was saying. This should not be a consumer product. This should be for people who absolutely need it. All right. If you like went blind from a crazy accident and like this could help you see again, or you're having bad brain issues because you're getting older and you can afford $100,000 brain implant.
Think about
like,
the
who knows?
Efficacy of that, though. What would somebody pay to walk again or see again? Anything.
You're
What are they
right.
gonna charge
And
them?
yet we have someone who has been paralyzed since they were born and wants nothing to do with it.
Right.
You know, it's
But
very
I'm sure there are people who would pay anything for it, though.
Oh, you're 100% right. Yeah, and you're both right. It comes down to like personal preference, which goes back to the very first thing that Blab said when we started this whole thing is like, hey, you do you. I'm not going to tell you how to live. You know, I'm not going to tell you what you should put in your body, which once again
just
goes
don't
back
push
about
it on
3
children.
years.
That's right.
That's all I care about.
It's such a fascinating conversation.
And
Extra
it's so
zero.
broad too, because then you have to consider everything else. Like when you say, well, it's your body, but we gotta specify, say, no for kids and for XYZ and all that, right? It's crazy. Just
Well,
goes
that's not your body, and kids don't understand
Well, no, I
the
know.
implications of
I'm saying, like,
what it
it's
can do for the
broad,
rest of
then
their
it
life.
ties into other stuff.
Extra zero says the dead in VR has the same energy as cold readers. That whole thing is just messy. It's gross. Metastep came in with the 5. Says, what if they put a little bomb in there? And if you get man, if you get put out of line, they just press a button. GG. Sorry, I was late.
But they don't need to put a bomb in it. They'll just shut down your brain with chemicals.
Or just
Metastep,
flood
thank
it. Flood it with something.
How do you kill
And you-
somebody? Flood their head with adrenaline.
You go through and you have you go onto a euphoria and then you just die, but the Glitch Witch came in with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. It says the question comes down to whether humanity is ready to use this responsibly. And I think we all
Yes,
agree
exactly.
that humanity is not. The
I
internet
said yes, like meaning that's a great question. Not like That is the question. Yes, that's the question. I
Yes.
agree. No, we are not ready. Came
He
out
says
wrong.
the internet is a marvel that has created many benefits to society, but I would say humanity has mishandled it in many ways. Glitchwitch.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Glitchwitch there.
We opened
We
the
all
liquor
like-
cabinet and said, "Have your go." That's what we did.
Basically.
Oh man. Brian came back and says, yes, I do work out, but I do have a complete disability called spina bifida. I believe it would work for someone who has a spinal cord injury who once walked.
Right.
Okay.
Be easier.
This is a first. This is a first. I do believe that you have achieved the $50 limit. So I'm going to give you a spinal balls. All right, you ready for this?
Okay, this is an Adam Krigler exclusive. Only Adam Krigler spinal balls. Here we go.
Spinal balls.
Spinal balls.
Steven!
Was that good? Did you guys like that?
Stephen Hawking will deliver the spinal balls.
Wait. Or the alternate version. Bifida balls.
Bifida balls. Ugh. Lucario came in with the 5. Says, also, I'm not sure if you've seen the Halo TV series.
Yeah.
But this technology could create super soldiers in that aspect. And also, to quote Ready Player One, reality is the only place where you get a decent meal. At the end of the day, reality is real. Lucario nailed it. And I listen.
So you're fed intravenously while you're with your Neuralink living in your virtual world.
If Elon Musk is like, you guarantee the government is going to take some sort of knockoff once this technology is fully developed, and it probably already is from a government perspective. Like, usually the government technology is 10 to 20 years ahead of consumer. But you got to think that the government is chomping at the bit for something like this. But the idea of like a super soldier won't exist when this technology happens, because they'll be,
they already exist. Let's be real.
Right. Like wars aren't fought with soldiers anymore. It's fought with information. It's fought with drones. It's fought with
psychological warfare.
100%. Right.
Yeah. So that's
Diana Francisco over on Rumble says, I enjoy VR as in flying, as I never will be a pilot. And if I were paralyzed and have ridden horses my whole life, I would enjoy that in VR. But again, never Neuralink. I like VR. It's a lot of fun. Shags, you ever play VR? You ever try it?
Oh yeah. It's actually I got the Oculus Rift when it first came out, and I ended up getting rid of it because I didn't really see the long-term like use of it. It was just too clunky and big and weird. But what I experienced in VR was exactly what I'm afraid of, is that it's really immersive, and it's to the point where you forget where you are and what's going on around you. Like, your senses are completely dulled. It's so exhilarating to stand on top of the Empire State Building and look down. You feel like you're up there.
Very cool.
But again, the problem is like I felt myself wanting to be in there too long, and be with my own neurological stuff. I couldn't really wear the headset any longer than an hour. It started bothering my brain too much.
If people who can't travel because they're paralyzed can go do said things like stand on something, I'm all for that too.
Yeah. I mean, you see people trip. Just kind of further this home, you get headlines like this, where gamer fractures spine following regular use of VR headset. You see, like these grown ass men out here, like you can't even climb a these VR games where you're climbing things, and like our brain can't distinguish that with a fucking screen this far away from our face. How are you going to do that with something implanted into your brain?
Well, and the way that it would probably work is it would access memories in your brain, so you would see it. You would see the thing, so it wouldn't even be computer generated. It would be brain generated.
We're going to look back on this period of time, like this 5 to 10 year window of time between 2020 and 2030, and be like, that's where it all went to hell. That's where it happened.
Or the poles are going to shift, and we're going to lose all electronic devices.
I got my silver.
That's a whole nother conversation. But
hey, I got my silver dollar too. Thanks Thanks, Trav. Appreciate that.
I'm holding on to mine.
Let's go.
Always got it in my hand.
Yeah, we all got them.
Mine's
Hey.
around here somewhere.
My Texas
This
man,
one's
Hayden.
mine. All right, this one's mine.
Hayden, great to see you, dude. I would love to see you in the chat more frequently. It says, and if you miss your payment, the corporation sends the repo man to repossess the chip in your brain. It is all it's their property after all.
Scary.
Hayden,
What
thank
if
you
it's
very
a
much.
monthly payment and you gotta pay a subscription or something?
Listen, what they absolutely will do is they'll do it just like Netflix does. There's a free version or a discount version which allows you to see ads, and then there's a paid version.
Nah.
You know,
No, it's gonna be fucking crazy expensive.
well, but I mean, once again, they're going to be able to make so much money through advertisement. You know, if they have a discount version, the idea of you can use our services.
Yikes!
Yeah, yikes!
Yikes!
Winterfell came in and says, "Hey G2s, done work early and just hopping in to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day weekend, and thanks to all our service members, past, present, and future. Also, if no one has seen The Matrix, we aren't AI ready. Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, yes. So it's like nobody's ever seen The Matrix. Yes, 100%. Winterfell, you are correct. And let us not forget. Winterfell brings it up. Memorial Day weekend is this weekend, and it's very important. Just for me personally, I have many family members. My grandfather served. He was in the Navy. My father-in-law, an Army. Just me personally, I just want to thank everybody. And I know we have a lot of servicemen and women in our community, which is great.
Yep.
So
They deserve all the respect. Support 22 till none. Great foundation.
100%.
All
right.
Shout out to the Marines. My brother is a Marine.
Good man.
Really
That's
proud of
awesome.
him. Yeah.
Just take a second. Just take a second and just make sure you let them know how much you appreciate them. So that allow us to have conversations like this because it's cool. All right, I got a bunch of stories. Let's just quick hit the shit out of them. Does that sound good?
Hit the shit out of them. What does that mean?
Just quick hit. So we're just gonna fly through them, okay? Because I want to hit these before we get out of here.
Okay.
Shags, you still there, buddy? She bounced. Okay, he'll be back. All right, here we go. Quick hits. We had the follow up of Netflix going in on the password sharing, and you got to pay $8 now for each separate account. Right? Remember that?
Right.
And they are getting dunked on by everybody, including Prime Video and Blockbuster of all people.
When Blockbuster's tweeting shit at you, god damn, they don't.
That was a funny tweet. I read that.
So here's Netflix original tweet from 6 years ago. Love is sharing a password, and here we are, Prime Video being like, "Who's watching?" And that's in response to that. And then once again, here's the Blockbuster. A friendly reminder that when you used to rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with, as long as you returned it on time. Netflix.
Yeah, and if you didn't, they'd charge you the price of the thing, which was like $60.
Yes,
I remember. There's like a documentary on Netflix about Blockbuster.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty fun. There's one about Blockbuster, and there's one about the last Blockbuster as well.
That one.
I'm pretty sure I have my Blockbuster hat too when I work there. I got my name tag.
Plushie of the guinea pig.
Let's go.
I thought any rental place would sue people, but Blockbuster, you did it.
They wanted their videos back. Did you guys see? People have been making all sorts of fun things in Tears of the Kingdom. We had a story about the new Metal Gear remake happening yesterday. Well, somebody has combined the two and made Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Metal Gear Rex Edition. Look at what they've crafted together.
That's pretty bad.
Badass. Yeah, fuck.
Like someone just made that in Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's spectacular. So,
what's the point of this, though?
Does it move?
What's the point of any of this, Shagsworth? What's the point?
No, really. In the whole context of the Zelda universe, what? Like, I've been trying to figure out why this game is the way it is.
Minecraft, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Like, does doing this somehow move the story
No.
forward?
No, not at all.
I
Not at
think
all.
all games are eventually going to get somewhat like this, manipulating your surroundings and building things, because that's
I hope
just the
not.
way it's going.
I hope not. I
hope
don't think
not,
so.
too.
Like,
No,
this is cool.
the
but-
director of Final Fantasy came out and said when they were, because Final Fantasy 16 is coming soon. They said that it's so much more linear than 15, because 15 was an open world. You can go and it was like, it was too big of a world, right? I don't mind open world games. Don't get me wrong, but certain games are better with like some sort of a path. He says, make a bunch of good monsters, make it about the crystals, give all the classic summons, have it linear. There was a few other things, but it's like all of those things were so Final Fantasy. They're like, make sure it's got all of those. We need to go back to that. And I was like, yes, that's the reason I'm most excited about Final Fantasy 16. Like, this isn't Zelda to me. I don't see Zelda when I see all of this shit that people are playing this Zelda game. And they're like, it's so amazing. It's one of the best Zelda games. I'm like, I don't get that. That's not the vibe I'm getting.
Right, and I see the chat being like, well, because it's fun. Like, I know this stuff is fun. Like, being able to build and be creative is super fun. My issue is, like, and someone tried saying that Zelda's always been, like, sandbox, and I want to be like, are you insane? Like, this is not ever what's been in Zelda. So why is it in this game? Like, there's, like, Roblox and all those, like, make a Roblox with this art style if you really want to do this. That's my only gripe with this, is that it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with Breath of the Wild or the story behind all that.
Well,
I'm a
I
party
think
pooper.
right. So I understand what you're saying, and what the irony of this is, I was actually talking about Tears of the Kingdom last night with a couple dads, and they actually said the exact opposite. Now they're not quote unquote gamers, right? They played games in their life, but they were talking about how this game is amazing because it's different for everybody, right? The idea that their kid, who is 5 years old, is playing Tears of the Kingdom, and they spent an hour playing it, and all they did was collect apples and put them in the fire, right? And because they can just run around. There's no there's a larger narrative, but it's so open world that it allows anybody to play it however they want.
That's why it's like Minecraft to me. Like,
Well,
literally.
I will say this. I hear y'all's arguments about this, but for me, Zelda has always, it's not been about crafting, it's been about exploration. And I think that's what Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild do. They're about exploration. And at its core, that's what Zelda has always been about, is exploration, literally since Zelda 1. So,
But also,
Fair.
Zelda's been about finding items to use and not have them break on you.
through
Yeah, the
exploration.
durability system.
Breakable
is
weapons, dude,
awful.
and the amount of shit that you have to farm. It doesn't feel like Zelda to me. It feels like it's trying to, like Craig just said it, like all these games are going to be like this because that's the direction. And I'm like,
It's a
I
trend.
don't like that. I don't like that all these games are starting to feel the same. Like that's boring to me.
Yep.
I don't want that. I don't want to just play the same game with a different art style over it.
But the irony is, Adam loves Destiny, and that's it's nothing if not the same damn thing over and over again.
The only no. There are very few first-person shooter games where you can go do PvE and PvP with the same equipment that you fight
True.
and earn. The
True.
Division was, and I love the Division. That
Yeah.
game was fucking awesome, and I
Mhm.
actually would love a good Division sequel.
Yep.
They fucked up Division 2, and I was like, that's really a bummer. Nate, give me another option that I can play PvE and PvP, and when I choose to do either one, like Escape from Tarkov, you don't have a choice. It's PvE, PvP, all in one. But like that's all it is. That's the game mode. I don't get to choose. Like, I feel like getting sweaty in a PvP match all day today. I'm just gonna do PvP. I'm gonna do this raid
All right.
with my same character. It's much different.
All right.
I would love another
Okay.
option.
I have a bet for everybody. I bet within a year that somebody literally makes this game in Minecraft. The entire map, the entire story, every character in it.
That's
What do you
really
wanna bet?
sad because it's probably true.
Yep.
What do you
Bet
want to bet,
$100
Trav?
on it because
All right,
they
I'll
make
take that.
everything in Minecraft.
Oh,
I'll
wait,
take
wait,
that.
wait, wait. Hold on. One sec. Okay, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Travis, you're saying
I want you to. I want you guys to finalize this bet, right?
Yeah.
Within a year, they
Here.
will make Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in Minecraft.
So you're saying that within by May 26th, 2024, they will have. You're saying for $100 that they will make a. I want to be clear on this because definitions matter. An exact replica of the entire map of Tears of the Kingdom that includes the base level, the sky, and the depths. The entire map in 1 year.
I'm not sure if that's doable, but certainly they could make the individual maps separately, the lower, the middle, and the
Which is it, Travis? Clarify. I want this bet.
They will make the main map, the middle map, and of Tears of the Kingdom.
So basically, Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Because isn't it the same map?
No, it's different. It's the same land but different. But okay, so Travis, I'll still take that bet. I will still take that bet. I think that within a year someone will not have recreated an exact replica of the Tears of the Kingdom map. And I will bet you $100 and you will pay me on May 26, 2024.
You know they build cities
Write
for
that
fun.
down.
Literal cities.
Someone clip it, write it down.
I get it.
We're doing this. It's set in stone.
I hope I'm wrong.
All right, virtually shake hands. Chav, you got to go up. Whoa.
Whoa, hey.
Damn.
Did he do that?
Dude, he just flicked you off, dude.
What? Travis, we're boys.
Time out.
Time him out.
Go to timeout.
What is that, Travis? All right.
You get timed out, son.
See, little do we know, Attune's right. It says $100 will be worth $0 in a year anyway. So.
Oof, on the way.
Oh my gosh.
Depends on who wins.
That's right. And as Jinx points out, within the confines of Minecraft. That's right. So
okay.
that's important. So let's continue on with these quick hits real fast. We just another follow-up. We talked about the Mario Advanced games being released on the Switch. Guess what? They are out today. I already have them downloaded. The Mario Advanced 2, 3, and 1 are out there, so that's good. That is released. And okay, this next quick hit is a spoiler, but I've been fascinated with the story.
For what?
For the Flash movie.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Okay, so if anybody cares tremendously about the Flash movie, just close your ears for about 30 seconds, okay? Because there's a spoiler. There's a lot of cameos in it. And the Flash director reveals a wild, deep cameo in this movie.
I'll just watch the clip.
Sounds good. But the spoiler is that it's going to be, this is so crazy to see. It's going to be Nicolas Cage as Superman. Now
that's ridiculous.
You say that's ridiculous, but Nicolas Cage was going to star as Superman in a Superman movie before he was cut, and it was supposed to be like this. I think it was like a dark version of Nicolas Cage, and it's been this like ongoing thing for a long time. They went through and he actually got dressed for it. Had an entire fittings and stuff. He had like a different style suit, and here is the picture of him in the suit. It was crazy. So. You know, he had all sorts of like Superman stuff. It was really weird. Anyways, for the first time, he's actually going to be Superman, which I think is really, really cool. So
those are horrible photos.
Just proves
I will not be seeing that movie.
Oh, I know. Just letting you know.
Fuck Ezra Miller.
It just proves that this movie has nothing to offer, and they keep bringing in the fan service and all the nostalgia bait shit, and it's like, I don't care. Not because it looks when they market this movie to me. It looks like Batman Returns again with Michael Keaton. That's what it looks like. I don't see a Flash. So
it's almost like you're right. They took it. What has everybody been wanting to see for 10 years? Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage Superman. Oh yeah, Michael Keaton.
Who wanted that?
You know, people have been talking about that for years. That movie should have been made.
It's a very deep cut. It's a very deep cut. It's about a movie that never happened. It was a Tim Burton Batman or Tim Burton Superman, and it's there's deep cuts, and then there's like Nick Cage Superman deep cut. And anyways, it's just kind of interesting.
Not happening.
Speaking of movies, let's keep it in movies real quick. John Wick 4 was really popular. Still have yet to see it. I'm very excited to see it. Haven't seen it yet, but they are already planning on John Wick 5. It is in development. Franchise teases update. So John Wick 5 is coming. I'm sure it'll be great.
I wonder if they shot with Lance Reddick's scenes, because didn't they shoot 4 and 5 at the same time?
Oh, I didn't know.
It's not going to feel the same without Lance Reddick, man. He had such a cool essence to that movie.
Yeah,
I agree. And with all these movies coming out, you're going to need. I don't know if you guys recall this a couple of years ago, but there was this thing called Movie Pass, which was a subscription-based service where you could go see movies for like $10 a month. And it, like 2020 happened, and then the company like went out of business or filed for bankruptcy and something because nobody was going to see movies, and they found it like it was just ineffective. Anyways, they're bringing it back, and it's opened up, and there's 4 plans where you can, like, for $10 a month, you can go and see. It costs $10 a month. They give you credits, and you can watch like 1 to 3 movies every month, which in my mind isn't like $10 less than what it costs to see a movie now, anyways.
You know how many
I'd pay
movies I've gone
$7.
to see in the past like 3 years in the theaters?
I don't know. 1, 0?
One.
Yeah.
I've seen one in the last 3 years. Too.
Avatar 2, and it was
Right.
worth it in theaters, I think.
But anyways, that's back, and so moviegoers. I know there's a lot of people who are love the experience of going to see movies. And this is the Adam Krigler story of the day.
Out of Krigler?
No, I said the Adam Krigler. The Adam Krigler story of the day. I got this from your timeline, friend.
Oh, on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Careful. I get kind of spicy on Twitter.
Well, we'll just show this right here.
Yeah, I
This
agree with this statement.
Yeah, I saw
So-
that's crazy.
2 teens were arrested at Caney Creek High School near Houston after spraying fart spray in school. 17-year-old David Navarrete and 18-year-old Diego Flores were arrested and charged with felony possession of a prohibited weapon. They are both facing up to 10 years in prison.
That's fucking
Right.
stupid.
It's
dude.
not a fucking prohibited weapon. You can kiss my goddamn ass.
Oh,
Wow,
my.
Travis. Wow. Just get mad.
He's right. He's right.
This is what happens when you pull a prank on the snowflake generation.
They expelled a kindergartner for bringing a plastic toy gun this big to class once. Like, come on.
Hey.
Let's have some rational fucking thought.
They have to be evacuated and escorted on stretchers awaiting ambulance over a smell they didn't like. This
Fucking
is,
babies, dude.
children. So, do you guys know who Mark Rober is?
No.
So Mark Rober is this guy who he's like a scientist guy. He does all these interesting experiments on YouTube. He's insanely popular, and you've probably seen a few of his videos. You just don't even know it. He's done like a squirrel obstacle course and stuff, but his probably biggest one is
I've seen that.
Right. He catches like porch pirates, right? And one of his things was he'd put the package down, people would take
Glitter
it, and
bombs.
bingo with a glitter bomb, but also included in those glitter bombs was fart spray.
Right.
So is Mark Rober now a terrorist? Just
To
food for
some.
thought.
I'm surprised they didn't get them with some sort of terrorist action with using chemical weapons or something.
Oh man. Don't
Dude.
go.
I've heard some crazy senior pranks that are way worse than spraying fart spray. Does that mean Spencer's at the mall
my God,
is like a if it's a if it's a prohibited weapon? Does that mean they're selling like weapons at Spencer's and malls across America?
They're aiding with the terrorists and all that.
I
Uh-huh.
think
Canceled.
what it is the school says it's a prohibited weapon, but that's still such.
How is it a
bullshit.
weapon? It's a fucking
Right.
fart spray.
Well,
Hey.
they
When
arrested
Hot
that one
Topic
guy.
becomes weaponized.
A guy farted in the direction of a police officer, and they arrested him for terroristic action and a chemical attack.
Oh my god.
Let me say this. I like watching trash shows, and this is like one of the topics that I'd like to discuss one day. I like to have a show built around
Arts.
entire like trash TV. So I like to watch Dr. Pimple Popper, and I like,
Oh, why?
dude, it's awesome.
I
man.
watched it on
Disgusting.
YouTube.
It's so
you
good.
guys are both disgusting.
I know,
Shags,
I know.
where are you on this?
Pimple popper? No.
Are
I'm
you paying
good.
attention?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
oh, okay.
dude.
I'm not-
so
Not at all about that.
I get
stuff.
it. Actually,
My
So-
wife
Makes
loves
sense.
it, and it makes me
Right.
sick.
so let me
Weird.
just say this.
All right,
I
cool.
don't
So
watch
it's 3
the
against
actual
2.
pimples, but I watch like the cysts and stuff. That stuff.
Why? Wait, what?
So hold on. Let me continue my story. It ties in, okay?
Anyway,
So
I don't like
they've
it.
seen
I'm
success
outta
with
here.
Dr. Pimple Popper. They have. Okay, sounds good. They've also seen. So they've seen success there. Also on YouTube, which is spun off into now a series. There's a show called Crack Addicts, where it's an attractive chiropractor, and she goes in and she's popping people, right? And I watched an episode of that last night for the first time.
Oh no,
It actually
not like
makes
that.
me want to go to a
Not like that.
chiropractor watching that shit.
nah,
It looks like it feels so good.
So this lady came in last night and on
Shitty
this
one.
show, and she had trouble. She just farts for no reason, and she was just like farting constantly. And she's like, I can't control my farts. And the lady looked at her back, and her like hips were all out of place and stuff. Anyways, so my thought was like, would this lady who just is constantly farting, and by the way, like really nice, jovial lady, she's like, I just fart all the time, ha ha ha, a lot of like nervous laughter. She ended up getting her back fixed, and like she controlled her farts. It was amazing how that worked. Anyways, you wonder if she'd be labeled a terrorist because she's
So there's a
farting queen.
direct spinal to sphincter control ratio, I guess.
yeah, it's
People
amazing.
who have lower back
Interesting.
pain, it's usually from gas or some gastrointestinal problem.
Hey,
Not
well,
always.
A lot
Joker
of
Bunny.
times.
Joker Bunny says no one can control their farts. Listen,
Bullshit.
Except
hold-
Adam.
you can hold your farts. All right, this lady could not.
She knows the way to my heart. Mhm. I
All
once farted "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." I'm not
Can
joking.
you do it again?
Get the fuck out of here. now I wield the power, sir.
I used to
I
respect
can just
that.
bring myself back.
I know. Listen, Fart King. All right. All right.
He's the greatest farter in the room.
Adam the
Gary's
Fart
favorite.
King Krigler. Let's
Hey,
go.
I'll own it. I'll own it, baby.
Meme lords, go crazy. Adam Fart King Krigler right there.
Sure,
There he is
why
right
not?
there.
I haven't seen I be ripping him in a long time. I hope he's doing well.
I used to say I'd
All right.
follow Adam anywhere, but I think I'll start leading from that one.
Shagsworth, let's go. Love it.
He's a smart guy. Smart guy.
All right, and we have 2 new products for all you retro gamers out there. Blabs, what are your thoughts on? Well, you never played Mega Man, so you don't really know. But there are now a new oversized Mega Man slippers
Ew.
that you can wear
Oh,
that
hell?
look like Mega Man's boots.
They look
How
like
fun,
Ugg
Those
boots.
shitty slippers and fluffy slippers are like
Made in
abomination white
China.
trash.
By
And
children.
Nobody else thinks those look like Ugg boots, but Blue.
They do.
They-
They
they
look
do.
like horrific.
They look like shitty Ugg boots.
Yeah.
But blue.
I'll tell you what, you want to
I can
find the.
smell the inside of those.
Right, you're talking about taking your cast off and feeling gross. Oh my god, on your
Looks
feet.
stupid, dude.
So I wanted you guys to
He's
play
like, I
Mega
want a
Man
pair.
with Blabs next. By the way, that was
Oh my
what I
god.
wanted
That's gonna
her to
be
play next.
brutal.
What?
Let's take that in consideration. Thank you, Trav. Appreciate
Mega
that.
Man's definitely harder than Castlevania.
Yes,
Yeah.
we got
gotta
Contra.
get
We got
good
also.
first, okay.
We got a million games we can play. It's gonna be good. Anyways, so if you want to, like, these are gonna be huge at conventions. You're gonna see like lonely people walking around in those. And then
Tell me
finally
you're
we
single
have
without saying you're single.
right. Bingo.
Yeah. Nice flips. So
And
true.
then we have this final version of the Ninja Turtles arcade game, which is being released, which is pretty fun, especially when you realize it's super tiny. Like what?
Oh, what the
Wow.
fuck? That's stupid.
I
It is
hate
stupid.
when they sell games like that super tight. Because how are you even gonna play that? Like what?
This is a
some-
With the
waste
With a
of
microscope.
plastic and electronics.
Yeah, I know.
like,
I know.
Maybe if it connects to a monitor or TV or something, but still, like I'll just buy it on something else.
Stupid.
Anyway, so that's coming out with that. Okay, so there you go. There's your stuff that you can buy if you have a lot of money and you want to buy those things.
Waste some of it.
All right, so we have we got the end of Mario 64 coming up in about 30 minutes. The Mario Funathon continues. Then we're moving on to Mario Galaxy. So I need literally everybody there. Everybody there to watch Bowser go down.
I'm looking at you.
Literally everybody.
Here's looking at you, kid. Anyway.
Before we wrap, Shagsworth, tell everybody where they can find you again one more time, please.
Yeah, of course. On Twitter, on YouTube, I have locals. I'm on Rumble. This week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, I'm talking with Flawed TV. We're going to do our Ready, Set, Shag episode. And then I'm off from the midweek hump for another week. And then we return on June 7th, which is my birthday. So come and hang out and, celebrate. That's really all I got going on. I'm sure I'll be playing Destiny. I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege again as well. I'm not streaming them because I'm not that good yet, but
it's for you.
It is for me.
You're not that bad though. Come on.
No.
People like watching people who suck. I don't understand it, but it's true.
Yep.
People watch this guy all the time. I mean,
I watched him the other day. Yeah, it was brutal, man.
Exactly.
You're telling me,
the
man,
worse off,
it was
the
rough.
better.
I promise not to remind you that you're going to die in 50 years for your birthday.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
I
love watching you guys. So being here is a pleasure. And I can't wait to come back. Hopefully you guys will have me back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Super fun. Really appreciate you coming in. Go find Adam over on his Rumble channels, Blabs over on her Twitch and Kick channels, and of course, Travis over on the Twitchers. Please do that. I'm literally getting the link set up for things right now for Mario Funathon. So please come on over and look for it on the channel. I greatly appreciate that.
And I just want to say real quick as a reminder, Ben from Uncharted X is going to be on Forbidden Frontier this Sunday. Very excited about that. He is incredibly knowledgeable about Egypt, and I don't know if you know this, I love Egypt. I can't wait to go. I'm going to be going next year. And check out his videos. Really fantastic videos talking about the symmetry of some sculptures that could not have been done by hand. He's got a lot of in-depth videos, but he's going to be on the show, and I get to talk to him and ask him questions about Egypt. That it's going to be a great conversation. It's going to be on it's Forbidden Frontiers on Nerdrotic Live. Definitely check it out. Nice, excellent. I just put the link to the Funathon in the chat. It's also now the pinned chat. By the way, 69% of you said you would hit the thumbs up button when you came in. Really appreciate that. That's amazing. And if you didn't, please do that on your way out. With that said, guys, I think that is it. What a fun week of shows. We appreciate everybody popping in. Appreciate your support. And I look forward to seeing you guys here in just a little bit. And we'll be back, obviously, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock, bright and early. Once again, no post show today because we got the Mario Funathon continuing. But remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys Monday for Side Scrollers, 11 a.m. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Go give Bowser